Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the week of November 10th. You have this black cat. It says your luck will change soon. You have this Sphinx. It says choose your words carefully. Yeah, it is a lucky month, actually. Not just this week, but there are a lot of opportunities for luck, even though we have Mercury retrograde. I've said to others that we have this water trine that's happening this month, and it's kind of hitting at multiple times. So, there could be a lot of luck. Now, as I've said, I actually probably said this to you in your last reading. With Uranus retrograding into Taurus towards the end of this week, the middle of the month, basically. Uranus and Taurus, we have to create our own luck. We have to put ourselves in situations where we could get lucky. So, that could mean like doing extra work. If you work in, if you can, it could represent, putting yourself in more situations that can bring you luck. Could represent like needing to speak up or share your ideas. The list basically goes on and on there. You start here in your current general energies with the Justice card, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands. Justice, of course, is balance. You have that card that says choose your words carefully. We are also in a time of heightened manifestation, so I would make sure to speak about the things that you want in life from the positive perspective, of course. Justice is actually more neutral, and maybe it would be better for you to just be more neutral this week and to come at things from a neutral perspective. That could lead to more success. You have the Ten of Pentacles, which is amazing. Ten of Pentacles is building, leaving a legacy. It is everything you want and desire in your life. So Ten of Pentacles is a foundational card. And, I do feel that Capricorns are one of the signs that could be working on building a solid foundation, or you could be more foundationally focused, trying to build your Ten of Pentacles in your life. And I think it is an amazing thing for all Earth signs, really, to be doing. Again, Uranus going back into Taurus. It's like this is kind of your last chance, really, to get started. And again, you don't have to be perfect. You can take the tiniest little step towards having something that you want that would complete your vision, whatever your vision is for your life. But I would definitely encourage you to do that with this card. The other thing I will say is money has looked really good in the month of November. So, I know that maybe globally or whatever, money doesn't look very good, but it just seems to me like on a personal level that we all maybe have better opportunities at this time, or we could do extra things to make extra money, and I would definitely take advantage of that. You have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is about, I feel for you, Capricorn, it's about like embracing that happy-go-lucky, enthusiastic, optimistic type of energy this week and being more happy-go-lucky. The Page of Wands is just happy to be alive, right? And so I feel if you could get into that space energetically, it could help you quite a bit this week and help you get a lot more accomplished or whatever. He does not attach an outcome to anything, right? So and the message that's popping into my head for you here, Capricorn, is if there are things that you want that you don't have, it could be because you are kind of like attaching an outcome or needing things to work a certain way. And I feel the Page of Wands is saying if you could let go of that need for things to work a certain way, it would be very beneficial for you, and you'd probably get to the finish line a lot faster. I just feel something about like a finish line, like he's trying to get to a finish line, or he's trying to get somewhere, but he's not. This is how I'm seeing the message in my head. And so I feel like you have a finish line or something you're trying to accomplish. And, like I said, I think, if you would attach less to it, that you would probably get there a lot faster. So, and the, really the reason I'm saying this as well is because we have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is the only knight in the tarot that isn't making a move. So we have to get moving with that card. With the Justice card, you have the Hermit card. I don't know. I don't really feel bad or good about this for you, Capricorn. I think some of you have been in Hermit mode for quite a while. Maybe you've been more independent or kind of like more focusing on yourself. There really isn't anything wrong with that. The Hermit isn't bad, of course. He's been through a dark night of the soul, and he's found his inner light. So if you could be coming off of a period of time of being in isolation, or maybe not really putting yourself out there a lot. But I do feel like that's changing. I mean, we have the Sun in this reading, and the Sun is definitely a great card for standing out, getting attention, putting yourself out there. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Cups. Yet a lot of options. I also feel this for Capricorn. Like there are many paths that will get you to the same place. Even the Page of Wands basically says the same thing. How the Page of Wands starts might not be how he finishes. And I feel that you need to realize that with this card. The Seven of Cups, he's dreaming of something, but there are good things and bad things in those cups, so he's not really getting started. But what I feel for you is that how you start something at this time might not be how you finish, but that could be a good thing. It's like your finish is going to be much stronger than you think, or, is going to be better than you think, but you have to get started to get there in the first place. The Ten of Pentacles, like I said, is your ultimate dream life. It is everything you want and desire in your life. But like I said, how you're going to get there might not be exactly how you think. With the Page of Wands, you have the Five of Swords. Yep, Five of Swords, like separation, walking away from something. We have 3 5s here. So 555 is a pretty big change number. And, 555 could be an important number for you at this time, or you could be experiencing kind of like a 555 change going on in your life. The Five of Swords, he's walking away from 2 people, but he's walking away the winner. So a lot of you might be making changes right now where you are like walking away from people, or you are, it's like you're not like cutting people out. You don't have to do that. The Five of Swords could be like moving. It's like sometimes we move and there are people in our lives that we leave behind, but that doesn't mean we can't ever talk to them again or anything like that. And that's kind of the feeling I get on the Five of Swords. But the other thing is that we have the Ten of Swords here. This to me looks like something that has to end, that you should just end in your life. So if there's something that like isn't working in your life, or something that isn't going how you want it to, it's like maybe you're still involved in a situation that has to come to an end. And I do feel this is like saying, yes, it'll be a blessing if you bring it to an end. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this anger card. It says conflict, loss of control, and boundaries. You have this body. It says self-care, sexuality, and vulnerability. You start this row with the Five of Wands. There is something about this week I would say that could bring up some conflicts or issues. I would avoid conflict. I think really this week, especially during Mercury retrograde, any retrograde, I think if there are conflicts, we should just put up boundaries if we can. We shouldn't engage in a conflict with people either. So if this is a conflict where you're dealing with a conflict with a person, it might be better to just not engage and not cause a bigger issue. You have the Five of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Wands can be conflict and competition. So I would avoid conflict, or I would avoid people who are going to cause conflicts as well. I'm sure we all have that one person that really pisses us off, right? And that is what I would avoid. I do feel good about the Five of Wands, though. Hermit and Five of Wands. Hermit is above the competition. The competition is like down here. The Hermit's up here on top of the mountain. I really feel you have the opportunity to stand out above the competition right now, Capricorn. I feel the problem for Capricorn is the head. It's all like you have all these ideas. I'm pretty sure I've said this to you before, Capricorn, that you probably do have more skills than the competition and probably are better than the competition. But it's almost like the universe has been challenging Capricorn for a long time to prove it, to put the things into practice, because that is the only way that you are going to rise above. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles, I do feel a little bit of progress here. He can be a little bit stuck. He is the only knight in the tarot that isn't making a move, and he needs to make a move. So he can definitely represent like slow progress, slow movement, needing to make a move. But he is progress, and I do feel that for you, that you are making progress at this time. He has this blank canvas behind him, and all he has to do is plant seeds. I literally feel it is that simple for Capricorn. I think you have all these like seeds in your head, these seeds of ideas that could grow into the Ten of Pentacles, but you just don't know the finish line. Page of Wands, I feel like it's almost like in your reading, I feel like he wants to know what the finish line is. It's like he wants to know that if he starts this journey that XYZ is going to happen. And that's kind of the feeling I get for you. I might have said this to you recently. I'm having deja vu as I'm saying this to you. And, again, but I think you have to get started. And the finish line, you'll like see it as you get going, is what this card is trying to say to you. You have the Five of Pentacles. I think you need to get out of your head for sure. Five of Pentacles says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. The card has a very simple solution, which is to focus on your strengths and focus on the things that you're good at. If you do that, you will be successful. So, that's pretty much what I would do with the Five of Pentacles. These two people are feeling left out in the cold. So I feel for a lot of you that, focusing on your strengths will bring you out of the cold. I also feel there's like a little bit of an obstacle here. Again, it could be the whole finish line thing. It's like, warmth exists. It's probably like the accomplishment of a goal, an achievement, something like that. We have the sun right here. The sun is warmth. The sun is light. And that's almost how I see your reading. It's like, it's almost like your goal is around a curve. And it's like you are looking down the road. I don't even think you see the curve yet, right? And it's like you're going down a road, you don't see the curve, so you don't even know that all you have to do is like go a little bit down the road, and then when you make the turn, I feel it's like that's when you'll see the finish line. If that makes sense. Probably not. You probably think I'm crazy. There you go. With the Five of Wands, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Yes. It's like the competition is going to keep winning if you don't get started, is kind of what I feel. And so I think it's time for you to get started here, Capricorn, make your move. Like I said, Knight of Pentacles can be a little bit slow, but not bad. He can make, progress, so I would. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth it for you to be working on what you're working on, or is there something better that you could be doing with your time? Seven of Pentacles, he's looking at these pentacles, and he's wondering if he should grow those pentacles again, or if there's something else that he could grow. And, the thing I like to remind people sometimes is that it doesn't mean that he can't keep growing whatever he's been growing. So it's like if you're worried that, you have a business and you want to do something else, that you're going to lose that business. Well, maybe not. Maybe there's a way to keep both. And I feel that I'm just using business as an example. It could be anything in your life. It's like you're not really losing anything. I think you have a lot more to gain, is what this reading is encouraging. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the King of Pentacles. Yeah, wealth. I feel everybody is really going to be triggered to build wealth in all types of wealth, not just money, right? Uranus and Taurus. Again, this is our last hug and a kiss goodbye from Uranus and Taurus at the end of the year here. And so Uranus and Taurus wants true freedom, wants us to feel free, wants us to build and leave a legacy for sure. Wants us to build something significant in our lives that can support us for a long time. And so I think the King of Pentacles is basically just encouraging you to do that, to get started. He has all the skills necessary. He has these grapes on his cloak, and the grapes in the tarot represent having the talents, gifts, skills, and abilities necessary to grow something great. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Fates card and this Go the Distance card, which I didn't even notice this. There's a freaking finish line on the card. There's a cheetah that looks like it's flying past this finish line. That's what you need to do right there, Capricorn. We've been talking about it. I love this Fates card. It kind of says that there are, fated things happening. I almost feel like you need to step into fate. It's like once you start the journey, that's when fated things will happen. So, whatever it is that you want at this time, you really have to go for it. Also, Capricorn, make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out. You have the Ten of Swords, the Sun, and the Devil. I feel this is fluff in your life that you have to get rid of, the Ten of Swords. Personally, I like the Ten of Swords because he's making this symbol with his hand here that represents a blessing in disguise. So, represents a blessing, I should say. So the Ten of Swords can be a blessing in disguise. But something in his life is definitely dead, done, over with, and he has to move forward. He has to go through the transformation and get up off the ground and realize that something in his life no longer serves him. But I kind of feel for you, it's like fluff. It's excess. It's extra things that you're doing, right, during your day that are taking up time. And I don't really have any good examples, but it's like, if you're cleaning too much, maybe it's distracting you from your project. If you're, spending too much time going out or watching too much Netflix, we do have the Devil here. Although I feel like the Devil is good in your reading. We'll talk about it in a second. I feel this is saying there's just like extra fluff, extra obligations and, challenges and things that you could easily chop out of your life. And I feel like doing that will really lighten the load. You have the Sun, which is the best card in the deck, of course. Happiness, joy, peace, good vibes, good energy coming in for you. Kind of says the sun is shining on you because it's coming up above the Devil, which is your card. And so I feel pretty good about the Sun in general. The Sun wants you to make things easier, though. This baby, this child is carrying this big banner. The banner is meant to look like something very heavy, and he is carrying it very easily. So as I always say, the Sun does not mean your life is going to be easy, but it does mean, can you make things easier? And I would be looking at, with the Ten of Swords, I would be looking at the fluff, the extra stuff that you don't need to be doing. When you think about it, fluff lights on fire pretty easily. If you're like me and you enjoy fire, then you know that fluffy things catch on fire very quickly. And, I think you could easily burn the fluff out of your life and make things a lot smoother, simpler, easier with this energy, and that's what I would do. You have the Devil. I kind of just feel like the Devil is you showing up here. Technically the Devil is Saturn in Capricorn, but, I also think the Devil can just be Capricorn energy showing up in a reading. So, I feel it could just be you. And whenever you show up as yourself, it puts you in a position of power and strength in the reading. The other thing I would say is that he can represent discipline. I mean, I really don't think Capricorn has a problem with discipline, but what I would say is with the Seven of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords, I would make sure that you're looking at the things that you are being disciplined at and say, am I being disciplined in the right places or the wrong places? And I don't know. I can't answer that question for you, Capricorn. But, again, it's like you might be very disciplined, but it's like sometimes I think we can be disciplined in doing the dishes, like I said earlier. And it's like, yeah, doing the dishes is important so your house isn't a mess, but is it important right now? Or do you have a project or something on your mind that could change your life that you should be working on, right? And it's like, maybe you could be like me and just eat off of paper plates, right? That way, you just throw it out after, and then there are no dishes. So, I have all the life hacks right here, right? I know how to make life easier. So, there you go. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Ace of Pentacles. I kind of feel like this is an opportunity you've been waiting for. So, again, if you have been struggling, which I think Capricorn has for many years, Pluto in Capricorn is a pain in the ass, for sure. So, I think you've dealt with your fair share of challenges during Pluto in Capricorn, and the Ace of Pentacles could finally be that opportunity that kind of gets you up off the ground. It's almost like I feel like saying this is what you've been waiting for, is an opportunity that could potentially grow, or an opportunity that you can really care about. There is something about caring popping into my head. I don't know about you, Capricorn, but I definitely have a hard, like, if I don't care about something, I basically can't do it. So I only do things that I love to do, more or less. And yeah, of course, I have obligations and things like that I don't want to do. But for the most part, I do what I want. And, again, I think having that attitude would be good for you. With the Sun, you have the Six of Swords, so definitely improvements, which is good. Like I said, I feel pretty good about Knight of Pentacles, a little bit slow, but I still feel pretty good about him in your reading, and he can represent forward progress. The Six of Swords is forward progress as well, and this Go the Distance card, I think, is talking about forward progress in your reading. So, it seems to me like you are heading towards a time of great improvement. With the Devil, you have the Two of Swords. Yes, Two of Swords is a stalemate. There is also, there's something about the astrology right now that I think could have a couple of signs in a little bit in their head. It could be the retrograde, but I don't think it's that simple as Mercury retrograde. I think they're just flashbacks to the past and things like that. We have more than just Mercury retrograde going on right now. Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, right, all retrograde. So I think there's more to the story. But I feel that there's a decision you're trying to make. And I feel the Two of Swords is saying, well, guess what, Capricorn? Number one, it's not going to go how you think in the first place, right? You can try to predict the outcome, but you're not. you're not going to. It's going to go completely different. I feel like that's a good thing. Like, whatever you're trying to do, or, this could literally be any aspect of your life. I think it could be love, money, business, spiritually, health, whatever. And I feel like it would be better for you to just say, like, I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I should just enjoy the adventure. Page wants. He just goes on the adventure, and he's just down to clown, right? He's just down to see what happens. And I feel like adopting that attitude could be really helpful. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this manifestations card. It says, manifest your desires, creation, power, resourcefulness, creativity, action, focus, potential, and talent. Yes, potential should be the key word of this reading. Really. There's a lot of potential, but if you don't use it, nothing's going to happen. You have this karmic cycle. It says repeated patterns, situations, lessons, not for you, toxic, red flags, karmic connections, and triggers. It's coming up in the good stuff. So, if you have any of those things, then you could be releasing them. It is an amazing time to manifest, and you have the Magician in this row. So I would be getting into the energy of what you want to create. You have the Seven of Wands, the Magician, and the Four of Pentacles. Seven of Wands can be a card of conviction. It can say when you know that something is for you, then it's for you. And so the Seven of Wands wants you to believe in yourself very deeply and wants you to believe in something that you're trying to create, right? You have to there has to be no other way in your mind than for something to be successful, to get things to work with the Seven of Wands. So that's really what I would be focusing on with this Seven of Wands energy. Seven of Wands can also represent drawing a line in the sand. And so it's a great card for boundaries. With the Devil here, and just kind of how I feel about the week of the 10th in the first place. I think it's a good week, actually. But, but what I would say is we should have, make sure that we're not letting toxic energies into our life, plain and simple. They're just, I don't know, there's something that I feel about the week of the 10th in toxic vibes. So, I would make sure you're protecting yourself from it. You have the Magician. Magician says you can have whatever you want here, Capricorn. So I feel you need to believe it. I think you have the stuff in your head. He has that wand up. It's like he has the vision, right? But he has mastery over all the suits of the tarot right in front of him. So he has all the tools right here. He just needs to pick up one of those tools and get to work, right? And so that's kind of like what I feel for you. It's like you just need to pick a tool, get started, and see how it goes. I always pull the card he's pointing to. We're going to say it's this one. You have this X relationship. There you go. You have that karmic cycle as well. It says change, closure, healing, nostalgia. You could be getting some closure. I would be careful. This retrograde is, again, it seems to be one of those retrogrades that could be, bringing back people from the past or things like that. So, if you don't want to hear from a person from the past or anything, then obviously I would do whatever you can to protect yourself from it, of course, with this energy. But, there still, could be some closure. You have the Four of Pentacles. I feel pretty good about the Four of Pentacles in the good stuff. It can represent financial stability and, kind of doing things to stabilize your finances. One thing I will say, for those of you that are trying to grow your finances, I think Capricorn needs to, branch out a little bit. That's, I think, the best energy for Capricorn. And it's especially for those of you in work or business, can you enter into a bigger market or something like that? That's the best example I can give you. But if you do that, you will definitely experience financial expansion. Sure, we'll take both. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Death card and the Empress. Very good. Empress is total abundance. Death is change. So there clearly is going to be a change in how you create abundance. The Empress also does things very easily, right? All she has to do is wave that scepter in front of her, and the wheat in front of her grows. So she doesn't struggle for her abundance. I think I've said to you in the past, Capricorn, that it is time for you to release the struggle. But here's the problem, is I think Capricorn is too used to having to work 900 hours a week to make $1, right? And so if you keep doing that, then you're going to keep only making $1 for 900 hours a week. But if you change your mindset, change your mind, do things differently, use different tools with the Magician, then you could probably work 1 hour and make $100, right? So that is more like it, right? And I feel it's like that shift is what is trying to happen right now in your life. With the Magician, you have the Knight of Cups. Yeah, if you want love, not really a love reading, but if you want it, sure. Knight of Cups is a knight in shining armor. Magician says you can have whatever you want. So if there's a person or a thing that you want, I would just go for it, because there you go. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, of course you do. Work hard, play hard. Typical Capricorn, right? Probably only working. So I would make sure that you are playing, that you are doing fun things at this time, because that's what you need to do. Plain and simple. And I dropped a card, so bear with me. Let me get it. We're going to take that as an extra card. You have this bowl card that says plenty of material things, so definitely could be attracting a lot of abundance. I think it is time for Capricorn to be in a position of abundance. I feel you have to start feeling it. You have to start acting like it, even if you don't have it, because that's how you'll manifest it faster. You have this wreath that says sorrow over a loss. Yeah, I really feel this for Capricorn for sure. It's the old story, Pluto and Capricorn. It's like Stockholm syndrome, right? Spiritual Stockholm syndrome. Things have been so hard that you almost get attached to it, right? And that's what you have to release. You have this dragon that says, beware of self-delusion. It's like not bad, but Neptune and Pisces, Neptune retrograde in Pisces right now. It's like Neptune and Pisces, we can have this big vision. Ten of Pentacles wants us to accomplish the impossible dream. Neptune and Pisces wants us to accomplish the impossible dream. The problem is delusion. We can be a little bit delusional. How do we not be delusional? We bring it down to earth. We say, okay, I want to start the next Tesla. Probably not going to happen, right? But maybe that's my dream. It's like, how can I start small? It's like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not Elon Musk, right? Obviously, I'm not a robot. So there you go. But it's like, maybe you start researching, right? It could be that small. Maybe you have that big dream. It can be as small as just doing the research and figuring it out, right? And so to avoid this energy with Neptune, we have to bring it down. You have this bird flying. It says news is on the way. I feel like there's good news. You've been getting a lot of these communication cards, things like that with me, Capricorn. So, definitely could be true. You have this money path that says a path with money is waiting for you to find it. Are you kidding? That's what the whole entire reading says. Ace of Pentacles, it's clearly there's something that's trying to get you to discover it. But you have to Page of Wands. You have to just get started and keep going and not worry about how things look, right? So the card that dropped was this Dark Woman card. It says dealings or relationships with a dark woman. I always clarify these people cards. You have the Seahorse. It says family matters on it. So you could be doing things with family or spending more time with family as well. But this looks pretty good, Cap. So thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out. And definitely enjoy your month.